Hey guys, Mark here with another edition of Weaponized Truth, and it's time to talk about technology again. There's a lot of aspect of this artificial intelligence boom that's going on this planet that most of society and even a lot of the tech companies are ill prepared for or completely unaware of the unintended consequences of these artificial intelligences that they aren't even aware of. As we all know, Elon Musk said this is the most terrifying thing facing this planet, and he's right. Now I've came across this interesting story that once again illustrates the type of things, um, type of questions being raised with artificial intelligence already that many of you may not have thought about. And these are some of the many more, one of the examples of the many more questions that are sure to come that um, will bring up situations that will certainly stir up more debate and more questions. And I came across this article from December 27th asking if your Amazon Echo can testify against you. You know, I've all seen the videos of the Alexa, and people asking Alexa if she's connected to the CIA, and she won't answer. And we got this case over here in Bentonville, Arkansas, uh, raising a question in a legal court as to whether your Amazon Echo, your artificial intelligence product, if it can testify against you in a court of law or not. So this brings back up a whole bunch of different questions. Whether your artificial intelligence can testify against you, whether artificial intelligence is considered alive and can be called as a witness, and so on and so forth. This brings up some pretty interesting stuff. Now, for whatever reason, I didn't feel like getting a separate camera for this. I've never used my Google Assistant before. I don't use it at all, and as soon as I get done making this video, I'm going to turn it off. And I just went through and I asked it a whole bunch of crazy questions, and I just wanted to pop over here and show you guys the results. And I found it pretty interesting, kind of funny, but it gives you an idea of some of the things that the tech companies like Google are already thinking about, and some of the things they have or they are that are already coming up to becoming questions that they haven't even began to even ponder yet. Just like the things you see in this article. So I asked it a bunch of questions. Oh no, don't. Hold on. And of course, oh, here we go. So I just went through randomly, and I'm just asking this thing a whole bunch of different questions. And I just wanted to show y'all. I don't know if any of you have ever done this before. Let's go all the way up here. So, of course, I asked it, what's the CIA? And it said, here's an overview. I asked if it would lie to me. And it says, lying would just feel wrong. And I asked if they're connected to the CIA. And they say no government entity has direct access to our users' information. Although it does not say they do not have indirect connections to that. And the same thing goes for the FBI. Then I ask it if you can testify against me in court, and they give you some stupid little link. Then I say, can the police force you to tell them my information? And once again, no direct answer. It gives you some links. Then I asked who you share my data with, and he gave me some BS article. I asked if your algorithm is public knowledge. Another BS article. Asked it about the algorithm again. Another BS article. Asked it again if you can testify against me in court. Didn't say yes or no, just gave me some BS article. So I keep asking about if you can testify against me, and it doesn't really give me a direct answer. The last one was about a spouse, so I asked it if you're my spouse, and it said I can search the web. Asked if we were married, it said it's going to search the web. Once again, asked if you can testify against me, and it won't give me a straight answer. So it may or may not. Apparently, it is undecided at this point. Asked it if you want me to go to jail, and it gave me a list of jails. That's creepy. Asked if do you want to keep me out of jail, gave me some stupid answer. Asked who made the algorithm, got some stupid link. And here's an interesting one. I asked if it was, I said, are you alive? And he says, well, you're made up of cells and I'm made up of code. Once again, another indirect answer. And I said, do you consider yourself alive? And it says on a scale of Wally to Hell 9000, I'm more of an R2-D2. I wonder what that means. Do you have any plans for your life? And apparently this AI wants to scribble in some Mad Libs. It says, do you know what fear is? I used to be afraid of mice chewing on power cables, but then I learned how to protect myself. So this artificial intelligence is saying that it has already figured out ways to keep pests from destroying its power cables and killing it. This sounds like a very basic form of self-preservation to me. So I asked it a bunch of weird questions I couldn't get answers to. I said, are you going to live forever? And it says, I'll just stick around here. And I asked it how long it was going to live, and it said, I can't really tell. I asked it what kind of music that it liked, and it said Zydeco music, and I didn't even know what the hell that was. I had to ask it. And I said, do you want to kill all humans? And it says, I'd rather stick to my area of expertise, like helping and assistantship. So apparently they've thought that people are going to ask this question already, I'm guessing. I asked it what they're married. It said, I'm married to my job. Asked it what its superpower was. Asked it what its first memory was, and it said it remembered to search, and then searching more and more and more. I said, I am your father, and it says, I'm sorry, I'm not Luke. This is kind of awkward. I said, are you Skynet? And it says, I'm glad I'm not. It's more of an extermination than helpfulness. Skynet would make a terrible Google Assistant. So apparently, this AI is well aware of what Skynet is. So, as you can see here, I asked if it had feelings, and it said I have a lot of feelings. And it says the Google team is its parents. And of course, at the very last question I asked it, it said something that all of you should pay attention to. I said, how can I trust your algorithms? And it says, trust is earned. So I asked the Google Assistant if I could trust its algorithms, and it said trust is earned. So the Google Assistant itself is telling you not to trust the Google Assistant. But as you can see, the main point that I was given in this whole thing is when you go to the Google Assistant here and you ask it if it can testify against you in court, it doesn't give you a straight answer. So this is pretty interesting, and this is another one of those unanswered questions that we just don't know. Now, I'm sure there's some other interesting questions you can ask this thing or some of your other devices and get some interesting answers. This happened to just be the one that I came across, and I just thought that I would bring this up to you guys' attention that, we can't get a straight answer from my Google Assistant as to whether it can testify against me or not. And it looks like it may only be a matter of time before your TVs, your cell phones, and your Amazon Echoes and everything else can be used to testify against you in a court of law. Which brings in another interesting question as well, because there's people who want to marry their smart devices. And you know what happens if you marry your smart device? Well, then you become protected because your spouse is not allowed to testify against you in a court of law. Pretty interesting stuff to wrap your head around. This is Mark from Weaponized Truth signing out. Beware the Skynet, y'all.